Some sounds are meant to be heard by different ears. And what that could immediately mean is that throughout your life, you have forgotten certain views about yourself that were keeping you centered. And hence, to become centered, one has to hear differently. And how does one hear differently when a different sense of self is hearing? Therefore, a process of change must occur. Therefore, an internal transformation must occur for external transmutation. As you internally discover yourself to be as empty as the sky, your breath has always belonged to a greater chest with a greater treasure. Once you look towards existential love, and what that could mean, you recognize that it's all about an openness and a sense of free being. And this, when there is a sense of other, equals to a love for another. However, love is naturally present, it's innately within everything. Love can be said very smoothly to be that which is holding everything together. And gravity might get jealous when we give that quality to love, but we understand that even gravity is love, for whatever opinion it has. So, as our internal canyon is found to be present, this sense of self now, which doesn't know, can ask a question that may be returned from a grander voice. And what that means is that a greater flow in your ideas. For some, so what I am suggesting here is that as you internally ask questions while having your body and energy centered, you're naturally allowing yourself to tap into greater existential technologies and intelligences, which to you may seem at first as higher beings, but then become your collective presence. You will discover it. A lot of people are shy of communicating with what they know to be something they need to communicate, right? However, what that could mean is that you need to see that the reasons in which there's a drive within you is because you need to look at a certain direction. So re-look at your direction. Be aware of your direction and allow yourself to have new ideas. Ideas that don't need to come from any rationality, any stream of logic, but just see what flow of ideas come to you every moment. Once you become subtle and sensitive in that way, your access to your own information would be maximized beyond potential, in which you find yourself answering every question that may require a new answer. The state of being among humans is a fascinating idea, because regardless of the body, there can be different drives, different ways in which the human being is being expressed. So in a universe where there's many purposes intertwined, one person wants to be a painter, the other one wants to be an engineer, the other one wants to be something else, you know. So in that kind of world, we see that there is many purposes, many lines trying to connect dots together. And so we can take that as similar and as simple as to different waves of the wind on the pond. And we see that the intelligence of the pond never just belonged to the ripple, you know? The whole thing, the intelligence of the whole thing never fully belongs to your individuality, because your individuality is keeping itself individual. So it's not that you should stop keeping yourself individual, you should be aware of the collectivity that this individuality points. So in other words, the spirit in which many people can know themselves to be can be the spirit that is within all things, that is all things. It's existential being. So as we are first the being and then aware as human, there is a very important, very huge point to be aware of that space that is suggesting greater vision of us or of ourselves. In other words, trust your intuition and let your mind naturally interpret your signs. Do not try to consciously do it. Actually, no, I don't want to say do not try to consciously, cross that out. What I want to say is that let the meaning of the symbol still communicate to you. In other words, once you see a sign, stop asking a question. Just continue looking at the sign and look at the next sign and look at the next sign. Don't ask for meanings yet. Just trust your signs. Once you trust it, a very profound wisdom is found to be present. It's one that guides with providing a sense of innate knowing. I don't know how to say it, but it's a firm intuitive feeling. And your knowing expands again into whatever direction that is meant for you to expand towards, you know? In other words, pay attention to your ambition on grander and grander scales to the degree that each moment that you're doing something, you're just pure cause. You're just existential cause. What that means is that you're not just thinking of you're doing everything. You're taking full responsibility for being alive and helping everything be alive in that way, you know, based on your knowledge. So much blessings and hope such meanings communicate the glow that you need to see. Namaste.